Hey there loves, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica Diamond. If you don't know, you learned something new. So today's video is going to be a comparison review with swatches between Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance and Huda Beauty Texture. Did I say Huda Booty? I did. Huda Beauty Textured Eyeshadow Palette in the Rose Gold Edition. Many people have been saying that if you have this, you don't need this. Many people are saying these two are the exact same. This one is pretty much a dupe of this one, and I have noticed that burgundy has been like a trend going on, especially after the launch of the Modern Renaissance palette. We have seen this come about. There's also Violet Voss Holy Grail palette. There's also Kylie Cosmetics Burgundy palette. There's a lot of burgundy going on. Got my attention. I'm kind of like, a lot of people are saying these two are the same, but am I seeing swatches and comparisons then of these? Not so much. So here I am, giving it to you. I hope this is helpful. If it is, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. So I'm going to kind of give you how I feel about this and about the other one, and then show some swatches, and then point out the shades that I feel like are definitely dupes or similar, the similar shades in both of these palettes. So I'm going to start off talking about the Modern Renaissance palette because I have been using it the most. I have had it longer. It looks like this, and I love this palette. I love burgundy shades if you haven't noticed. And I just think this is a beautiful palette. This is by far my favorite palette, favorite product that Anastasia has ever released. I love the satin matte shades. I love these shimmery shades. I love that you can do a little neutral here. I love that you can glam it up. And I don't know, I love these shades. They swatch great. They perform on the eye great. I just love them. I haven't had a problem with this palette at all. They're buttery, they're pigmented, they're great for anyone to use, even a beginner or a pro. They're just wonderful eyeshadows. And here we have the Huda Beauty Textured Eyeshadow Palette Rose Gold Edition. That is such a long name for a palette for one thing. And since it says Rose Gold Edition, probably means there's gonna be a bronze edition or a gold edition, you know, more to come. I've only had this palette for a couple of days. I've been using it here and there. You get 18 shades in this palette. This palette is $65. It cost me $70 because of California tax, and I know if you ordered it from her site, shipping from Dubai is over $20. So this palette is filled with these 3D metalled eyeshadows, which is really pressed pigments. You have some pearls and you have some mattes. There are quite a few hits in this palette for me, but there are also quite a few misses. For one thing, the texture, especially on the Rose Gold and Trust Fund, it's like glitter flakes sitting on top of your eyelid, so it definitely creates a kind of texture that I don't think people really want on their eyelids. Now for the top row, and for this one down here, hashtag blessed, you do need to use your finger. It is not going to work at all with a brush. And it even says that on the back here, that apply gently around eyes with a brush. Foil textures deliver their maximum payoff when applied with fingertips. Some of them perform quite well, and I'm okay with using my finger to apply eyeshadows. I have done this with Makeup Geek's foiled eyeshadow. I have done this with the Natasha Denona Metallics eyeshadows, because these aren't eyeshadows, they're pressed pigments. And pressed pigments, as you probably know, do not work with a brush typically. As for the matte shades, some of them are quite gritty to the touch, like Flamingo and Maneater, but I can look past that because I know those are hard formulas, or not hard formulas, hard colors to work with. Maneater has the same texture, if not maybe a little bit more gritty, as the Makeup Geek and Manny MUA palette in the shade Mars. I do like this palette, but I would not recommend this to a beginner. I just said I did like this palette, but there are definitely, you really have to work with these shadows, and for $65, I don't want to work that hard for them. I feel like if a Viseart $80 eyeshadow palette, I feel like if a Natasha Denona, what it cost, like $270 for me because of California tax, if I can work so easily with those without a problem, I feel like I should be able to work with this without a problem, and that is not the case. I had a hard time working with Rose Gold and Trust Fund, and I know I'm like really bullying on those two shadows, but I mean, this palette is called Rose Gold, so you want the rose gold color to do what's best. And I feel like the colors that drew people to this palette the most are Rose Gold and Trust Fund, because those are the colors that drew me in the most, along with Fling and a little bit of 24K. Right now I am going to insert a clip of the Anastasia Modern Renaissance swatches along with the Huda Beauty palette swatches. I will be using my finger. Each shadow will only be swiped twice. I will be cleaning off my finger with a makeup remover, but I will also be wiping my fingers on a dry towel so there is no wetness or interference with the swatches. So these shadows will be swatched directly from my finger to my arm skin, and there you go. And then I will be right back swatching live with in comparison of the shadows I feel like can be dupes, if not exact shades in between these two palettes. All of these were swatched with 2 swipes. I rarely went back into the pan. I only swirled my finger in the pan once, and not super hard. As I said before, these are super pigmented and they work lovely on the lids and they blend super well. I swiped twice. I did not go super hard in the pan. I maybe went back 2 to 3 times in the pan, especially on Rose Gold and Trust Fund. Okay, so these two are actually the last 2 in the palette. I ran out of room down here. Judging by the swatches, I think it is easy to say that this one performs far superior than Huda Beauty, but Huda Beauty is still not that bad of a palette. So now I'm gonna kind of try to remember the shades that I feel like are close to the Huda Beauty one. First, I'm gonna take Tempera from Anastasia, and then Bay from Huda. So Tempera is more of a pinky white, and Bay is more of a yellow tone beige, and they both kind of blend into my skin tone. Again, I will be wiping off my fingers and swatches with a napkin. Anastasia Golden Ochre, Sandalwood from Huda Beauty. Golden Ochre is more of this yellow tones and warm. Sandalwood is kind of more of a cool color, but it's definitely a little bit patchy than Golden Ochre. These two are not the same. Vermeer from Anastasia and Moondust from Huda Beauty. So Vermeer, Moondust. Vermeer is definitely more of a pinky, shimmery shade, while Moondust is more on the yellow tone. Buon Fresco from Anastasia and Shy from Huda Beauty. I don't like the way Shy swatches, and Buon Fresco is one of my favorites from Anastasia. But Buon Fresco is down here and Shy is up here. So Buon Fresco has more of a purple cool tone, and the Shy has more of a warm undertone. Let's go to Cypress Umber and Cocoa. Is pretty close. Cypress Umber, it has more of a purple tone to it, and Cocoa has a brown tone. They look just a hair different in the swatches, but I bet if you put them on your eyes, blend it out, they're gonna look the exact same. Raw Sienna and Sandalwood. Raw Sienna is more cool tone. Sandalwood is more warm. But again, I bet if you blended these out on the eyes, they're gonna look the same. And Burnt Orange compared to Sandalwood. I feel like one is just slightly darker than the other, but if you blend them out, they're gonna be the same. A Primavera from Anastasia and Moondust from Huda. I have Primavera and Huda. Primavera is more of a pinky shimmer, and Moondust is that goldy shimmer. I'm gonna Red Ochre from Anastasia and Maneater from Huda, sorry. This is Red Ochre and this is Maneater. Totally different shades. Let's add Venetian Red from Anastasia to that. So Venetian Red is a little bit more purple. Right here in the middle is Maneater. And then Warm Taupe from Anastasia and Suede from Huda. Warm Taupe, Suede. Warm Taupe is actually more of a cooler tone, ironically, and Suede is just a tad more darker. But I think if you blend them and if you build up Warm Taupe, you're gonna get the same look on the eyes. And last but certainly not least, we have Relgar from Anastasia and Henna from Huda Beauty. Relgar, Henna. So Relgar is definitely more of an orange tone, while Henna is a little bit more of a burnt brown tone. If you blend them out, they're probably going to look the same on the eyes. So there you have it. That is pretty much my review, swatches comparison between Anastasia and Huda Beauty. I don't think there really are exact shades unless the 4 or 5 I pointed out that if you blend them on the eye, they're going to look the same. The only real difference is the fact that Huda Beauty has these 3D metal shades going on while Anastasia does not. In my opinion, Anastasia is a far better palette if you want to compare it in that way. But as I said before, I don't think this is a total shit palette, but I don't think it was worth my $70. I would say this probably should have been priced at $45, maybe $48 or $50 because of the top row here. And those are pretty much my thoughts. So I don't think they're completely dupes or completely identical, but one is definitely better than the other. And there are shades that if you blend them out, they're gonna look the same. The real difference between those similar shades is one has more of a cool undertone and the other is more warm. So I hope that was helpful. Give this video a thumbs up if you did. Thank you so much for watching. Be kind to one another and have a lovely day. Bye.